Well, I just finished this interview with a podcaster in Canada. Most of his audience is down in the States, so it's really relevant. But you could see and hear, at least what I saw, how excited he was when he found out these programs there. Uh, and had no idea. Now, Canada I feel, has more programs for government than we do, but I don't really know for sure. I almost did a book about that, but this is like 40 years ago. Uh, but he was so amazing, and he's a marketing guy too, so I related to him like that. But you see in the interview how he's so surprised how the rich in this country, how millionaires get more grants, to pay even for utility bills than someone making $30,000 or less. I mean, see, that's what I mean. Grants are crazy. Anything you know about grants is probably wrong, and it's probably right. So it's right somewhere, wrong somewhere else. But if you're only looking in one place, you're not going to find what you need. So that's why I hope you watch this to see that it takes work on your part to find out where these things are, and definitely not in Google. Now, we talk about that a lot. So watch this and grow, and that way you don't learn about this stuff without giving me money. So that'll be a bonus.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Oh, he counts.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to the BID Academy podcast. I'm super excited to have you here. As always, this is the show where we talk about the mindset, money, and marketing. And today we have a guest who's as bold and colorful as the suits that he wears. Matt Velasco. He's famously known as the question mark guy. He's the man behind over 20 books, including Information West, Getting Yours, and Free Money to Pay Your Bills, all aimed at helping you unlock the secrets of government grants and financial resources. And you've probably seen him on YouTube sharing insider tips on accessing government programs or rocking his question mark suit in infomercials. Welcome to the show.
Hi, well, thank you, Alex. Nice to be there. I thought I was called in Washington, D.C., but you like you're at another or below a level than I am.
Yeah, I know it's pretty cold up here at this time of the year. Awesome. Yeah, I would like you to share with the audience, how did you start? Uh, how did you get into this industry? I guess you can call it an industry,
Yeah.
or how did you pursue the career in helping people find grants?
Well, how do I start him? I mean, when I was a young man, you're trying to figure out how to feed yourself. And you keep trying and keep trying. And I'm doing what I'm doing now because I failed at everything else, man. I tried a whole bunch of shit. None of it worked. But that happens with everything. I mean, if you're going to do something new in life, you got to plan for failure. You don't plan for success, because that rarely happens, or at least initially. And that's why when people say, I heard the 7 steps to success, I mean, that's bullshit. Maybe it worked for somebody, but it probably won't work for you. And to me, what that does is stop people, because they get to item number 3 and it doesn't work. So they said, that guy's an asshole. I shouldn't have listened to him. But no matter what you do, you're going to have to fail. And that's why it's the problem is not getting the steps to success, is getting the advice for success. And the advice for success, we go out to other people who supposedly help somebody or help themselves or whatever. And that's fine, that worked for them, but it's probably not going to work for you. We're all so different skills and different attitudes. And so when I started really becoming successful is when I gave up listening to anybody. I got an MBA, would go to all seminars and all this kind of stuff. And I found myself working at things so hard and failing. And I said, this is nuts. So I had 2 companies that failed, and then I decided, wow, something's wrong here. And everything I was doing, I wasn't happy doing it. I was just doing, I was like eating my spinach. Mom said I had to do this. So I was being miserable, not succeeding. So it seemed like the goal was maybe in 20, 30 years I'll have fun or something like that, which sounds like a stupid life. Why am I trapped into this? So I said, what I'm going to do is have fun first. Because if I have fun first, doesn't matter if I succeed or not. I'm having fun now. I don't have to wait 30 years to have fun. So that's really the key. And the way to do that, there's no magic way to do it. Maybe you could get help, maybe you can, but the best thing that we don't do, that we have to do, is listen to our own heart. Listen to ourselves for success, not other people. It's you, because if your heart is not in it, you're not gonna make it happen. You're gonna find there's anything you do in life, there's gonna be a reason to stop. Shit happens every day, particularly anything you're gonna do. It's like learning to walk all over again. I don't know if you have kids or not, but I remember my kids trying to walk, and they pull themselves up by the coffee table and take a step and fall on their ass, and they have to do that lots and lots of times. So if they were an adult and they were trying to do something I knew they couldn't do, I tell them, hey, don't do that, you're gonna fail, right? So when you come to your parents and say, I wanna do this, I wanna start, hey, they'll tell you 15 reasons why it's not gonna work. And they're probably all right, but that doesn't matter. The way, like the kid who's gonna fail, you don't start walking because you're gonna fall on your ass. He knows that, or they know instinctively. They don't even hear you. And they know they have to do it to succeed. So that's what's in all of us. We have to do something, no matter what, how bad it is or whatever, because we want to do it. And you won't do that unless it's coming from your heart. If you're coming from a checklist of easy steps to succeed, man, there's no easy steps. I mean, there may be a few in there, but you're going to run into bad stuff. So you really have to prepare for bad stuff. I mean, everybody prepares for success. Success is easy. You get the money, you go to the bank. You don't have to know anything else. Why do we take all these seminars about how to be successful? No, it's how to get there is through failure and trial and error, and particularly in marketing. Nobody knows. I mean, the only people know is certainly not your loved ones. It's your potential customers. They're the only people, that matter. I remember when I was doing my commercials, I'd go to my friends and whatever, see my commercials I was working on, and take their advice. And then it occurred to me, they never bought anything from TV. Why am I even showing them this? That's crazy. And that's why it's the market. Who do you want to love? Who do you want to give your heart to? They're the people that only count. Advice, fine, but you overrule it most of the times if you're smart enough, or maybe you test it. The other thing too, I think about starting anything, marketing or whatever, is don't spend money, because it's too easy to get free testing than it is to paid. And people who sell you things, sell you advertising or anything like that, man, they're in it to make money. Yeah. So they're going to say, hey, you make $1 million to do this. So I got to the point where, okay, am I going to make $1 million with you? I'll give you half the money. So if they thought my ads would be perfect for them, for me to make $1 million, well, here, run my ad, I'll give you half the money. Anything you do, instead of me paying for the ad and losing, because most things in marketing, I think you lose. And that's why you have to live long enough to figure out what really works for you. And so spending the least amount of money is the key to this. And now with the internet, man, 30, 40 years ago when I started, there was no way to do this, do free, unless putting postage cards on the bulletin board in your Safeway or something like that was free marketing. That's about it. But now it's all over. I mean, you got so many platforms, and to test ideas. To me, marketing is like making love, and a good lover doesn't have to be told what to do. A good lover knows instinctively through the heart what they need and want, because most of us don't have enough language, like a consumer doesn't have enough language or knowledge to explain what I want a lot of money, or just stupid stuff. But it's usually behind that you have to do, and that's talking heart to heart to do that. And that's why a lover does that more, getting to know the person more, instead of something, and the same with consumers. So you have to,
using their language pretty much.
in a way, but even more, the language they didn't even know yet. They don't know how to articulate it. I don't for myself. Yeah, I just feel hurt. I don't know what the fuck, why, whatever. And it's too complicated for me, a marketing guy.
Well, yeah, it's like in the world of marketing, there's this saying, you need to get into the conversation that's happening in their head,
Exactly.
in your ideal client's head.
Right.
Yeah.
You see politicians do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's all they do. They're just trying to say what in your head, and that's what is marketing, and that's why it's not. That's why trying to think that people should have this. Oh, you should have. It is like, they don't know that, and they don't know what that language means when you say that. Language is so complicated, even though we speak English together. I don't know why there's more wars. People speaking the same language can't even communicate. We see different countries, different languages, and wow. It's too hard, and that's why it's opening your own heart to feel that more, from the customer side. And not to just pick the brain, but to feel it. That's why your heart is smarter than your brain. The brain is too, mechanical or whatever, a spreadsheet. And that's not how the body or the heart operates on a spreadsheet. It's emotional.
100%, yeah, because most people buy emotionally.
Exactly.
Instead of logic.
Right.
Even men, because usually people say, well, women buy emotionally.
Right.
More women buy emotionally compared to men, but in reality, it's both. It's just
men are dumber. Because we're caught up with so much stuff that's not human. And women operate more from a human stand. I don't know what I'm talking about, but
like from a human standpoint, you mean like more caring?
Yeah, that's part of it, but that part of life that they're more interested. We want dollars. We want macho machines. We want all this other stuff that's really not anything to do with being human. You could be human with any of that stuff. So women are sort of, maybe because they give birth, that they're more tuned into that part of life, that could be more important. In a capitalist society, it probably isn't, but maybe it should be a little more important.
Well, I guess it also depends on the family in a way. Like if the family has the right values,
right.
Even in a capitalist society, I know so many people in Canada and US being capitalists, but they have the right values, the right morals, and they're just great people.
Right. No, I don't think it's all bad. Nothing is, like all humans not bad. Well, maybe if we all feel good, we may not get shit done. And capitalism seems to work pretty good. It got a lot of people out of, even China, look, they got 1 billion people out of poverty in 10 years or more. And that's incredible. And they did it with capitalism, their version of it. But it's still, that's what it is. So it's not bad. It's just part. And you can't solve everything with it the same way you can't do the other side with it. So it's like,
No, it is true. So speaking of grants, how many grants would you say are out there for people to use from the government?
Well, it depends on where you live. In the government, there's probably millions. It's just incredible.
Wow.
I'll show you a chart I made. What'd you do with it? Did you take it here? What did you do with that? I had it here. Anyway, our country is 40% capitalism, and then 60% capitalism, and 40% of it is here. When you take the GDP, our gross national product, or domestic product, the pink or the yellow here is capitalism. So that's the part that's capital. The other, the green and the blue, is what I call community. So community helps each other. We do this as a community, decide to help each other, and we don't charge money. They're the grants. You can't get grants from capitalists. Well, you can a little bit, but they're not there for that. And that's right. This is all Google, and that's the problem. Google only has capitalism. The other stuff is in there, but you'll never find it because everybody in capitalism is marketing to find you. Nobody markets to find you on here. They just have free money, free services, and everything to help people in the community. You know, and you may know about it, you may not, and most people don't because it's so intertwined. But it's more than just the fire department. You know, people think, well, because that's the community. Okay, community is the fire department. Because if your house is on fire and you live in the community, you don't go over to Joe whose house is on fire and say, yeah, I'd help you, Joe, but I want to check your credit card first. You know, that's capitalism. He's going to help you if you have a credit card. But our community help that help people, whether it's paying your rent or getting a new job or whatever, we have 40% of everything in our economy comes from the community. And my frustration is that the rich people know this and the rest of us don't because it's complicated. There's no easy way to plug in like Google. There's some things that may help. And this is how much it is. Now, every year, this to show you the amount of budget. See, our total government is $7 trillion. I think you guys are about 10% of what we are or something like that.
Yeah,
Seven.
like 10 times smaller. So.
Right. And the amount that goes to individuals in grants in 2025 is $4.8 trillion out of the whole budget of $7 trillion. So that much is given to individuals in cash grants. You know,
wow.
Right. And that averages out to $18,787 per capita, per adult. 18,000 for a family. That's 57. You know, I mean, it's just astounding. But there's no central place, and that's why people. And what people do is they go to Google to try to find that, and they can't. They'll run into people. Okay, I need help paying rent, and they run into people to help them pay rent, but they're going to charge you money somehow because they won't be there if they don't get money from you. So that's the worst place to go if you want to get a grant, because that may be in there, but you'll never find them, and everybody in there will ask you for money, and so you'll think that you have to have money to get a grant or whatever. I don't know, but that the real grants are all for free. Don't charge money to do that, but people don't know where to go. So that's what I've devoted my life for 50 years now, is trying to tell people where to go. I always dreamt I was big and strong enough to tell everybody where to go, but that was a bad joke.
Were you saying that is done on purpose, that it's hard to find those grants,
I don't
find to apply?
It's hard to say what everybody's motive is. The people who hate, I mean, we have a section of the country that believes the government should not give away money, except to them. And so they will maybe have a motive of trying to tell people. I mean, I get a lot of bad stuff like that, you know, that I'm producing welfare or whatever like that. And I've been doing this so long, it doesn't bother me. But it is for everybody. I mean, look at our country now. Why did Elon Musk give Donald Trump like $170 million for his campaign and is traveling around kissing his butt for 3 or 4 weeks now? Because Elon already got $5 trillion in grants from the government. Not trillion, billion. So he's got $5 billion, and he wants more because he knows it's easier to push the right buttons in the government to get this than it is to develop a new product or something that people want and make money that way, you know? But, you know, and somebody who professes that you should do it all yourself, he really doesn't. And so we're all hypocrites, but we're all normally greedy. Now, this is a typical program I don't know, it's typical, but the kinds of programs now this is a program just started last year on 2023, and this is the results of the first year. That's giving out $8.4 billion for people to pay, have trouble paying their utility bills. So it's money now. It's going to be for 10 years. Every year they're going to give out this money. Okay, in the first year, these are the people who got it. The top 25% of income in America got 65% of all the money that was given out. So these are people from $100,000 to $100 million. So these are millionaires getting up to $40,000 or more to reduce their utility bills. Now, it's a little tough for me to see that the utility bills are that important for a millionaire. For some reason they need money or be on the street kind of thing, you know. And so here's what the bottom 25% got. They got 0.001% of the money. So I would think they're the people really, if they don't pay a utility bill, they're out on the street, right? And that they need that more than anybody. But the people who learn the system, you know, get the money. So that's what I'm trying to do is
how much you said? Could you repeat the number once again? The 0.00?
Yeah, 0.001. You know, it is next to nothing.
Okay.
And the top 25% got 65% of all the money.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
But in their case, because most of them, they do run companies, and I would assume they would use that for, say, if they run a manufacturing company.
Yeah, but that's not for this.
For
the money has to go to reduce your utility bills. See, this is a program that...
Okay, so it's more of a social program than...
Right,
okay.
right. So, right.
Okay.
No, for entrepreneurs, there usually there are some requirements on a lot of grants for entrepreneurs that are aimed at lower income, but usually there are no income requirements on business grants. And business grants are growing now because more than I've ever seen it in 50 years, particularly at the state and local level, because that's where they need jobs created. You know, every elected official has to create jobs. And so if they could help you start a business that you're going to grow, or just even give a job for yourself, you know, they're investing a lot of money in that. But no, this is, you know, for social, I guess, you know, as you called it. But no, and then there's others for job training. See, to me, even like the job training, people don't know about. I mean, you can get, in this country, there's so much money, particularly since the pandemic, we don't have skills in this country. You know, and like 60-70% of our workforce does not have a degree. And you needed it before, but now that's less so because we have lots of high-paying jobs that no longer require a degree. You know, just big companies and even government offices are like cutting out a degree as a requirement. You know.
Wow, even the government.
Yeah, that's going more and more because you need the skill. So and that you could go and the government will train you for a skill. You know, without having to sit, because you don't want to take English classes, but you got to learn how to use this equipment or whatever it is, the technology, you know, to keep these businesses going and growing. So that's available, and you can even get paid to learn that. So now there's really programs we have where you get paid $40,000 a year to get the skill after a few years to get a $100,000 a year job, instead of going to a college and paying them $40,000 a year, maybe getting a job at Starbucks. You know? So that's it.
Usually the case.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things, particularly people without money. It's hard to get in their shoes how they live every day. Like we give out grants. We give out $70,000 worth of individual grants, or $500 to $1,000 every month. And we have a deadline tomorrow, actually, for you could spend on anything you want. And we get at least 20% of the people don't pick up the money. people with low income, their day is so confusing, and they're fighting 3 fire drills every day, and they don't have any money to douse the flames, kind of thing. And that, I'm starting to understand more and more. How do I get these people without, the skills or the information of where to go to get the help? The other thing I feel that we haven't taught people and we have to start using is getting away from the internet to get information. The internet's great. I got an MBA in Management Information System, taught computer science. So it's not that it's bad, but it is, like Google. I mean, you want to get help in Google and you'll get 2 billion websites, and most of them are to sell you something. So how do you find out what the good ones are? And I believe you have to talk to people. You can't do that on the internet. And particularly in our country, that 40% that is our community, that they are all there to tell you about this. So you find the people. I don't know if you could do this. Are you able to get in government websites from Canada? You may not.
Yeah.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, sure.
Try this. Can you go online now? Go to findhelp.org.
Okay.
Or do you have it? Are you there? Findhelp.org.
Yeah.
Okay. Put in a zip code. Put in my zip code 20009.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Do you see a big number in the middle? Like how many sources there are there?
Yeah. I see there are 3,533.
All of these sources are government or nonprofit. None of it will ever charge you money. So they're all there to give you free money, free help. Okay. This is what excites me. People don't know this. And this is just one.
Insane.
I know.
God, there is food, housing, goods, transit, health, money, care, education, work, legal.
All right.
Wow.
Now, up in the top left again, put in like a home repair.
You mean in the search, right?
Yeah. How many did you get?
Okay. I got, let's see, 1 out of 10, so 225 pages. And
I think that's just 225 sources.
yeah, okay.
Okay, so 225 sources in my zip code that give you free money and help for home repair. 225. Every one of them does that. It's not Google where you get 200 million. And actually you have to learn how to use that, because you don't know what you're eligible for, even no matter how much they say. And you have to understand the government's language, and that's too hard. And the way to use that the best is start calling as many people that are there. They're there to help you. That's what they do. Maybe they're a pain in the ass or whatever, and they hate you today. That's fine. You go on to the next one. And you ask them what you think you should do for home repair, because they see these programs every day, they know it all the time, and they know the new ones. They're the best people to ask, not your Uncle Harry or whatever who got his home repair. You talk to the pros, and these are pros that are all free to help you with that. I mean, that's what frustrates me. I mean, look, I got 200 and whatever it is for people, and how many people dying to get their house fixed, and don't know about that, and they're going to Google. And apparently I'm terrible at this work I do, because it doesn't seem, after 50 years, much has changed.
Well, again, there's a lot of information.
But one other side I think is good for you people is businesses. See, the same thing for businesses. Now, businesses, there's some stuff in that of Find Help, but the better place to go is our SBA, and not for money. They have a database that is like Find Help, but just for businesses. So you go to sba.gov and then /local, all lowercase, local-assistance, sba.gov /local-assistance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and there should be a place to put in your zip code.
Yep.
Okay, put in your zip code. You could put in mine, 1008. And then I usually put in 50 miles.
Yep.
Okay, what do you got, about 20, 30 organizations?
Yeah, around there.
Yeah.
About 30.
Yeah, so these are, every one of those, within 50 miles of you or me, that give free help for you to start or expand any business, help you find money, help you find technical help you find free legal help, accounting help, anything you need to start or expand a business, a nonprofit, your invention, you want to be a freelancer, a real estate investor, anything for free. Yeah. You're going to go on Google and somebody's going to get you into a course that'll cost you thousands or hundreds or whatever, to do this. When you get one-on-one help right there for free.
That is awesome.
I think so, but I don't know why everybody.
Definitely more people need to know about these programs and this website.
And it's like that for everything, whether it's healthcare, legal help. There's not a problem you have that there isn't a free source in the government. We're spoiled, and that's why, see, the thing is you have to learn a different process to use these services. We're used to having people want to sell us something, kiss our ass, right? So they're going to do everything to be nice to you. These people get paid no matter what. So they could help you all day or all week or all year and still get the same paycheck. Or they can hang up on you and it doesn't affect anything. So that's why the only thing you have is your personality. To be nice, to want them to help you. Yeah. And we're not taught like that. Or trained. Yeah.
I haven't heard. I mean, I've heard of the SBA.
Yeah, right.
A lot of people in the business world like to talk about the SBA loans,
right.
But haven't heard of the local assistance.
Yeah.
Or fundhelp.org.
See, most of the business money is really local. It's there's more grants local. It's called economic development in the government, for local government, state government, county government, nonprofit organizations. They all want people to thrive, and they do it by helping them start a business. And grants. I mean, it's not easy, but it's there. I mean, nothing in life is really that easy. But that's another problem I think with marketing. We try to make it easy, just one call and you'll and that doesn't happen. But we're so anxious to get people to buy. And what I do.
Yeah, that's the world we live in.
Right, exactly. And that's what I do. I give 100% refund no matter what, because when I only had, a lot of my life I spent trying to get a 1-minute commercial to get people to buy something. So I'm not going to tell you, it may work, it may not, I don't know. And I just showed the best. And then, if you don't like it, don't worry, I'll refund. Just to educate people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I've learned quite a lot myself. It was quite a conversation.
Well, that's what keeps me going.
As you said, more and more people definitely need to know about this type of platforms, this type of websites and resources.
And they hate their government because they don't know what the hell it's doing. They know all the bad shit. I mean, if you only saw my bad shit, you'd hate me too. I have my share of that, yeah. And they're going the wrong place. They're not looking at the good stuff. And that's a pity. So it gives me something to do. I'm 81 and I feel about 10, 15 years maybe. I'm going to be here every day I'm breathing. I wake up in the morning, hey, I'm not underground yet. Great, I got a lot of shit to do. At your age, I wonder what you're thinking.
I love the way you look at life. It's just like you mentioned, like the last time when I asked you, like, how's your day going? And you said, I'm still on the surface, so getting good.
That's right. Well, and it's helping people, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of life, is there, like when we had a previous conversation, we spoke about life, there are certain 20-year-olds who are life coaches, which is funny, but that's the world we live in.
They're a dime a dozen now too. They're everybody. People who can't make it, they're a life coach.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, which is fine. Like
and we all need help,
everyone will
man.
have their own client.
Yeah.
Because you kind of need to be just one chapter ahead of the other person.
Right.
There was this movie, I forgot the name, where the guy was the sub teacher, or he pretended to be a sub teacher, and only at the end of the semester, everyone at the college or university, I don't remember exactly, all the faculty staff, they realized that he's not a real teacher. He just was showing up. And the real teacher wasn't like something happened to him and he just didn't show up. And they asked him, like, how could you teach this case like when you didn't know anything about this topic? It's like, I just needed to read one chapter in advance and I could teach them that. Which kind of makes sense because they follow.
You know what? I mean, I was thinking I may have told you that story because that's what I did as a teacher. I was teaching.
Okay.
I was teaching computer science back in the 70s at one university, and I was taking the same course at another university and keeping my students a week behind what I was being taught. So I must have stole that
there
from
you go.
that.
So that's the real life example now. Now I'm not gonna say it's a movie.
Right. Well, I think it's more all about caring and showing people attention. And that's, I saw with growing kids, sending them up to the room to study. If I sat down next to them and studied, that's more effective than anything. Telling people to do something is being next to them while they do that. Then they do it.
Mm-hmm.
So we all want attention, I think. Or our heart. And I don't know if I told you this first time, but that's what I'm working on now, is growing my heart. I mean, I can't get stronger or faster or smarter at 81, but I think I could love harder. And that's what I concentrate on and doing every day. And that is getting better and makes me feel better. The more I try to love people and just try to be smarter or stronger.
That's what matters at the end of the day, honestly.
Well, it's hard to come to that. I'm sure as a younger person, it was there, but it was never out in front. And maybe I had the muscles and everything else could be worked on, but now that ain't gonna get better.
Well, that's awesome. That's good to hear. All right. So if you have like a final advice for people who are listening to this podcast, what would that be?
From I've got so far in this conversation, is listening to your podcast, I think, is probably the only thing anybody else in the world should do. Yes, it's very important. But from me, I think to me is your heart is smarter than your brain. And you got to listen to your heart more. We're not trained to do that. There's no course on listening to your heart. There's just courses on how to get great advice. But it's got to come from the inside. That's more important. You get the advice from the outside, but you don't bet the farm on that. You bet the farm on what's inside you. That's the only thing you can control a little bit too. And that's telling you what you really want to do. And that's why it is important to listen to that, because you can't quantify it. You can't put it in a spreadsheet or anything. And if you tell somebody else, they'll tell you it's fucking nuts. Because they'll tell you all the things that go wrong. That's right. But see, if your heart's not behind it, to me, you won't get through all the bad stuff. Everything you're going to do in life is going to have bad shit.
Yeah.
And there's no way out of that. So to me, the way to reduce that is to follow your heart, so you're there for the right reason, and you'll get through it.
That's an amazing advice. I don't think a 20-year-old would have that kind of advice. All right, well, thanks a lot for being on the show. How can people connect with you?
Letsgohelp.com. Yeah.
Awesome.
Or if they
Well,
don't want me, I have like 9,000 videos on YouTube. Matthew Lesko on YouTube. Yeah.
wow. Yeah, we'll definitely. I've checked some of those, but I didn't realize that there are that many.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll definitely add those, add the
Okay.
links to the keynotes as well,
Great.
to the show notes.
Great. Thank you, Alex.
Well,
Pleasure.
yeah,
Let me know if I can
thanks a
help.
lot for being on the
Okay.
show, and I do appreciate your time.
My pleasure. Take care.
You sounded a little like Carter.
Sweet. That was a really interesting episode.
Oh, thanks. How do you get out of this thing?
Just click on leave right there. You see it on the right side. But I will.
Okay.
I'll
Cancel
turn it
me.
off. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So then we'll let you know when the episode
Yeah.
is ready.
Great.
We'll send you the short form content so you can share with your audience as well.
You
And,
betcha. Will do.
yeah,
I'm a ham. Want everybody to know.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I wanted to ask you. So, it was. Let me check. So it was Kat who filled out the form, right?
Kate. Yeah. Right.
Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Or Kat.
Here's,
Right.
Okay.
Kat.
Yeah,
Kate.
'cause
Right.
in her email just said Kat. So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, no, because the reason why I asked, because one of the things that we have in the form is, since as I mentioned, like last time, we run a marketing consultancy where we help clients with their marketing systems, with automations, to bring in leads and clients. And over here, she mentioned that she wants to learn more how to build that. Is that something?
That's maybe for her.
Should I just work for her?
Yeah, sure for her, because she probably wants it. I mean, I'll
Okay.
help in any way I
Yeah.
can, but yeah.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, then, well, with that being said, I'll let you know when the
Great.
podcast is live, and I wish you a great year ahead.
It just started. A lot of
We're
shit
just
will
starting,
happen,
so
good
yeah.
and bad. Okay, Alex, talk to you soon. Thank you.
Talk to you. Bye-bye.
Ah,
Sounded nice.
yeah.